One of the big things that people want to talk about is immigration. And this is a campaign, we're not afraid to talk about immigration. But before we talk about immigration, I want to ask you something. How many people in this country, this family, was originally from this country? That's just a simple question I want to put out there. There was a whole race of people that were here before we came. We call them Native Americans. How many Native Americans are actually left? Do they have any immigration policies? I think we slaughtered and killed most of them. And somehow, if I recall correctly, there was a very common belief amongst Native Americans that you don't own land. Yet we try to convince them that you do own land. We kicked them off most of their land. We killed them with smallpox, war, and lots of these other things. And then we say how Christopher Columbus got along so well with the Native Americans when we were little kids in elementary school. How they were so happy to meet him and see him and have him enslave them and turn them into slaves and do all these other things to them. Immigration is something that seems slightly hypocritical in regards to the fact that who's to say this is our country? Why do we own it? That's what I'm wondering. What about the Native Americans? Aren't they the ones entitled? Shouldn't we be talking to them about immigration policy? Since we're all the immigrants and they're the only legal citizens. They're not as many as there used to be. But I still think we should consult them first. And didn't Texas actually belong to Mexico until we stole it? So aren't all the Mexicans living in Texas? Shouldn't we be the one to ask the Mexican government if we're allowed to stay there? Shouldn't we be the one to get visas? Make sure our passports are still good? Assuming we're living in Texas or other parts that used to belong to Mexico. When does something stolen become legitimate? That's my question. I just want to know. Give me an answer. Just curious.